Hello Earthlings, here is Little Modular with another episode of our little workshop and review. So today we have this incredibly sexy, I dare to say, a little bit pornographic module called RK2, made by Californian company Metasonix, of which you probably have heard. They specialize in modules that have a lot of attitude and character, and this VCA is no exception. Well, I call it a VCA, but it has a lot more to it. First of all, it can serve as a preamp with approximate 30 dB of gain. So this could be used as well with bass guitar or a typical electrical guitar, and it could saturate the signal, or it could bring it to astonishing amounts of distortion. It's really bizarre kind of distortion. To be honest, I have never came across such a crazy sound. As it states in the manual, it could give you anything between a subtle tube saturation up to a chainsaw kind of distortion, which I will show you in a second. Few things before you plug this module in. It draws around 200 milliamperes of power when the system is steady and powered up for a few minutes. But at the initial stage, when the valve is warming up, it needs around 600 milliamperes. So you need to be sure that you have this 600 milliamperes free for this module to operate. So I recommend go with the PSU 3, the newest depth first power that provides you with 2000 milliamperes of power. And also Metasonix, on their side, they recommend the linear depth first PSUs. Don't even bother with those funny, tiny, things like flying bus. Won't happen, won't work. You need a solid PSU for this. And if it's possible, if you have some space, I recommend leaving around 1 HP of free space for this valve to have space to cool down a bit, because it gets warm. So let's take a look at the interface. Quite simple, just like a usual VCA. We have one input right here, audio input. We have a CV input, and we have two outputs. The first output is a standard audio output, and the second one has inverted phase, which means you can achieve some crazy stereo effects when you plug those two outputs to a mixer and they cancel out. So for example, you can achieve only the distortion sound without the source sound, and you can get some crazy stereo effects when you crank up the feedback. And as for the controls, simple CV offset, which lets you fine-tune the incoming modulation signal, so you can offset the CV for a proper response. You have the input gain knob right here, and the feedback, which I like to call raise hell knob, which does all crazy stuff to the signal. One important thing with this module, even tiny adjustments make a huge difference, especially when you adjust both the input and feedback at the same time. You can achieve all sorts of different sounds, a whole palette of distortion, aggression in the sound. I have connected 3 sources so you can see what this module does to different kind of sources. First one is Mutant Snare by Hex Inverter. Second one, I have a Xox box, bass groove box, which is a clone of TB303. And I will also show you how it sounds on a classical Fender Jazz Bass guitar. So let's start off with the snare. This is how it sounds sauté, without much of coloration. And as I increase the input, you can start to hear, usually around 5 o'clock or 6, it starts to saturate more and more, and you can hear an obvious distortion. We're getting into danger zone. Now it starts to scream. Okay, now we have like a in-your-face chainsaw sound. Now that is without the feedback. Now what happens if I crank up the feedback? You can hear it almost sounds like there's a resonance on a synthesizer. You get this squelchy sound. Okay, and notice that I really adjust the sound, the knob, in really tiny adjustments. It makes a big difference. You can hear it changed again. You get some, sounds like it's like you are choking this valve, which, by the way, is called a horsecock. Seriously, it's in the manual. This is called a horsecock. I kid you not. Okay, now you get this really chainsaw sound with lots of high harmonics in it, high tones, until it almost chokes to nothing. And then at the end it's getting crazy again, and you get all different sounds in combination with the input. Okay, different input, different feedback yields different results. And remember, you cannot break this module, so do not be afraid of feeding it with the distorted signal, with the high signal, with different strength of signal, because it will react differently. It's a tube equipment, it's dynamic, it's unpredictable at times, and that is a strength of this module. Okay, so that's how a simple typical snare drum sounded like. Let's take a look how it will sound with the bass. This is the XS box, groove box. Okay, vanilla type sound, typical bass line. Now let's increase the input. Ooh, yes, you can hear. Now that's what I call a distortion. Okay, let's crank up the feedback. Oh, I can hear a totally different sound. See? Tiny adjustment, and it gets this, again, this highly pitched distortion. I have a Culture Vulture tube distortion here in the studio, which is supposed to provide me with similar distortion, but it's a totally different character. I have compared them, and this is much more aggressive. Okay. Oh, now you can hear a lot of meat in the lower register, and again, small adjustments and drastic changes you can hear. It's really powerful right now. Ooh, that hurts. Beautiful ringing in the upper register, and again, total change. Sounds like a broken valve, but it's not. And again, almost like a resonance cranked up. And of course, if you change the incoming signal, the source signal, the character will change also drastically, as this is a dynamic module. Oh, you can hear. Okay, just a beautiful sound. And again, whoa, that's what I call powerful thing. Okay, so that's how a synthesized bass sounded like, and this is how a typical Fender jazz bass will sound like. I am no bass player by any means, but I'll try to show you how does it sound. That's just one of the sounds, and again, change the feedback. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, this is like maybe some more input even, and now I can hear now crazy buzzing sound, like something is broken. Let's adjust the feedback again. Now that's crazy. Huh? Like a really fast modulation. Alright. Whoa! So you can hear it's ever-changing fuzzy sound. It's really unique. I mean, I have never came across any effect pedal that sounded like this. So I definitely recommend this module. It's unique, it's solid. Demo it, try it, and fall in love in this horsecock. Take care, bye bye, thank you.